Relationships, health, money. Everything revolves around these three things. Talking about Daler Mehndi Saab, and I was the product head for launching his next, The King is Back. You know, we were saying we were launching his album.
Which song was that?
It's a track called Namo Namo. I mean, you cannot be my friend if you're talking about mundane stuff. So if I'm meeting an astrologer, I would throw googlies at them, you know. From somebody who couldn't stop blabbering, now I have to measure every word that I speak because it has such a deep impact on somebody's life. I'm very different. My words carry weight. I cannot shoot my mouth. I have to be very careful. You really think I should give you the exactly?
Yes.
You're ready to hear the truth?
I am ready to hear the truth and share with everyone as well.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it then. A very warm welcome to a brand new episode of the Mehak Ankar Show. Well, today on the sets, we have somebody who's very close to my heart, a friend, a very dear friend rather, for a very long time. When I came to Bombay and I joined another radio station, and she was one of the RJs there, we hit it off instantly. I loved the way she spoke, the way she was excited about life, and the way she would go on and on talking. Just imagine one RJ liking another one talking so much. She was probably the only one that I enjoyed listening to so much. And today she has covered a very long journey from Akashvani to Bhavishyavani. That's how we call it. She has gone on to become one of the most known and renowned cartomancers and psychic mediums in the world, helping people all around the globe. Well, very delighted to have Prasiddhi on the show today. How lovely you're looking.
Thank you, thank you. And it's not a coincidence. See, telepathic communication is real.
Absolutely, both of us in green. And
yes, and I think we always meet. It's a serendipity. The way I met you and the childhood that we share, which is also such a common Akashvani to literally, you know, to coming to the stage now today. It's fantastic. And who could have predicted this? You. This girl always spoke about things that, you know, she wanted to achieve in life. And I was always so proud of her that, you know, how she was so nonchalant about it. The most confident person. She spoke about stuff in the studio where I would say, what is she saying? But I loved her so much that I always enjoyed every word that came out of your mouth. And now that is actually shaping so many lives, helping so many people around the world, which is so cool. So congratulations on that first. Thank you. It's a huge... from somebody who couldn't stop blabbering, now I have to measure every word that I speak because it has such a deep impact on somebody's life. Even the cards on my table, which I used to give readings, when things start happening, it's not a card. Then it's a deep, you know, it's a tapestry of somebody's life. It's an event in their life. It's a real deal. It's the real thing. So with experience, I have found that I have to be very careful with what I say to people because it just so happens that it's a slip of tongue, but then it becomes a reality for somebody. And then that, when I started realizing this, I understood that I'm very different. My words carry weight. And that I cannot shoot my mouth. I have to be very careful with everything that I tell anyone.
But then, you know, the beauty of that is when you speak and sometimes, you know, things come to you. You do not think beforehand that this is what I have to say because this is what the person wants to listen to. That is one of the best qualities that you have. Whether the other person likes it or not, you just call a spade and you're like, this is how it is. And that one quality is something which makes you very authentic. I do believe in astrology. I do believe in, you know, the other world and energies and, you know, I am quite spiritual. But I do not trust the people in the field very easily.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I don't even know half of them whether they really know their stuff or they don't know. So when it comes from you, a place of authenticity, people believe that, you know, it is pretty neat and what she's saying is, and you don't mince your words. Like, you know, you don't want to hide things and say only the good part.
Yes. See, what happens is, the way this journey started for me My mother was in love with getting readings. And my maternal great-grandfather was a very well-known astrologer, Gujarat Maharaj ke Raj Jyotish. So it was like it came from there. So the family held a lot of value on these things, but my father had absolutely nothing to do with any of that and would probably not ever turn around and ask anybody about anything, even when it came to giving me this amazingly beautiful name. He never looked at my birth chart and said, okay, it has to be with P and it has to be this, or it just came from a very literary point of view, very somebody who was in love with literature and studies and education and academia. So I had seen the best of both different worlds. And every time as a child I was taken to another reader, I would question them from 5 different angles.
Oh, I totally
So if I'm meeting an astrologer, I would throw googlies at them, That's what they would say. It's like, this is a curveball question for me and let me take a look. How do you come up with all these questions? I said, how do you not think of all these questions before you come up with a prediction? How come you're not looking at this one particular event from every angle to make sure and corroborate that what you're saying is right? Yeah. So my mother would be like, you need to stop talking when you go and meet these people. You have to let them give you their gyan. But I said, but this is wrong. This is not going to happen. There was this one astrologer who said, you're going to become a doctor. I said, I don't see that. So,
Yeah.
There's that. And I don't see that was a statement I would give for everything. So when we are having a sports day at school and there's a girl who's really preparing, to run, and I would say, Merlin, I don't see that you're going to win. I don't see
And
this.
then a lot of people did not like you for that.
No. That happened later, but as kids were like, oh, shut up, I'm going to. But then they would turn around and, oh, you said that, you jinxed it. I said, no, I didn't jinx it, I told you so. And
So did people come up to you saying that, Ki Prasiddhi, you have a Kali Zuban, whatever you say, that comes true?
I said that, in fact, ki meri to Kali Zuban, so you please don't piss me off, because what if I just say something, it's like a very witchy thing to do, which I'm definitely not. I don't even believe in remedial measures. I don't even believe in doing spells. I don't sell anything to anybody. My only line is that, listen, you come to me, I'm like a God positioning system, a GPS for your life. And I used to think everybody's like this.
This was
Everybody's
your norm.
like me.
It was like normal for you.
It was normal for me to be able to get communication from people who are not necessarily around in bodies, to get messages
So
about...
did you start getting it from
as
very...
a child. As a child. And so it's very normal for you,
So when did that start?
It started when I was 7 or 8. I would walk into rooms, I would read people like a book, I would come into spaces and say things about them. And it was uncanny, it was weird. My mother often had to put a tape on my mouth and say, you know what, you have so much to talk about. And luckily, parents were in All India Radio. They said, you know what, let's channelize this into creative presentation. Why don't you do shows for children, shows for this, that. So, instead of... always write down your script and what would you say. But I would never stick to the script. And my life doesn't stick to the script.
And life is not scripted, it's free will. And I remember, Prasiddhi, when we met initially and we used to chat, and we could chat for hours and hours, and people used to think, what's going on? And we would talk about paranormal, and we'll talk about, exactly what you're saying right now.
I mean, you cannot be my friend if you're talking about mundane stuff. If you have not discussed aliens today, then how can we?
Then when? Absolutely. And so we did speak about like life between lives that time, I'm talking about so long back. And we were both very curious about it. And, you'll come up with some amazing stuff at that time. And you'll say, aise hota hai, waise hota hai. And I used to be in awe. And I would sit and I would, listen to you. And now that has really converted into something. We are all born to do something in life. And you found your purpose.
It's a very famous kissa. People know about this. And I'm talking about Daler Mehndi Saab. And I was the product head launching his next, The King is Back. We were saying we were launching his album. And I walked into the studios and he was recording a song which was 10 minutes too long. And I said, you need to chop the song to 3 minutes, 10 seconds radio edit and give this song to Sony Music London. Don't release this in India. It's going to do big. And I'm blabbering all this in front of the most celebrated arranger, music director, everybody in the studio. They're like, who's this girl who just walks in and says all these things to Daler ji? And he actually listened to me. And then he said, all right, I'll do that. I'm listening to you, Prasiddhi, okay? I'm going to listen to you. And he understood what I'm trying to tell him, and he believed it, and he did it, and it worked out well for him. And the album that I was supposed to be launching him for, I was marketing, I said, 2000 से एक भी CD आगे नहीं बिकने वाली, and we were launching 20 lakh CDs and cassettes. Those were the days when we had CDs and cassettes. Now everything releases on Spotify, but उस time पे we had those physical thing.
CDs and cassettes.
And I said कि it's a big blunder, it's a huge mistake.
Which song was that?
The song that I asked to edit, it's a track called Namo Namo. One could Google it. Please Google it. Find out. It's a beautiful track. Shiv ji ka, it's उसमें स्तुति है, but it was in his style, and it was all music and movement and stuff, and it did very well. And so when we were launching Rolla Pega, I said not more than 2,000 copies. And my boss pulled me up again. It's like, not your job, not your job, not your job. I often get to hear this. So what the heck is my job? What am I here on earth to do? I keep telling people things. And you know how many copies did we sell?
How many? 20?
2,000. As I had said, 2,000. And this is something that I mentioned in multiple spaces. And that's why Daler ji came back after a year and he said, give me your birth details. I want to take a look at your chart, because he believes in astrology.
Achha.
I said, Acha, okay, but please take a look. Tell me what am I doing, because my heart is to help people, but somehow these predictions always land in wrong places.
Yeah.
So how do we make sure that these predictions go to the right people who are receptive and ready?
I also want to tell everyone that you are a journalist.
Yes.
Correct.
I'm a journalist by training.
So facts and politics and world information, a very logical mind and a beautiful writing, because you've also written for so long and in the columns and for one of the leading
newspapers
in India. And then after that, I know, we've been connected and we know each other's journeys. And on the side, you were also preparing yourself for this that you are today. And you have done everything step by step so beautifully. So you started with your, cards and the connection you made with cards. After that, you got into other things. So tell us more about cartomancy, and then, we will come to the psychic medium part.
The thing is that you're a channel. You're a medium, you get information. You cannot corroborate that information till somebody confirms it for you. If I give a prediction, it takes time for that thing to play out. If I've connected with a departed soul, it takes some time to confirm the information that was given. And it was never my profession. And I would never even think or dream of doing this work as work. Okay, because had I told my dad that I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to study, I'm going to do this, I mean, meri to achhi dhulai hoti thi. So there's no way that I could have done this. But then when I found, the most famous system of cartomancy, everybody knows is tarot. And tarot has 4 systems too. The most popular one is Rider-Waite-Smith because it's a painted deck, it's a colorful deck, it's got images on it. So most readers work with it. But the first tarot deck that landed in my lap was a Tarot Marseille deck. Now, Marseille is a town in France. That's where they used to make playing card-inspired tarot decks. And Marseille is older by 500 years. It's dated.
Wow.
It's as old, like late 14th century. And it is like an extended form of a playing card deck. So the minor arcanum of the Marseille deck is the playing card deck. And the major part, the 22 major cards, were added on later as the story of the archetypal story of the soul, the journey of the soul. And that deck was not used for prediction so much, as much more for tarot or tarot key, which is a game of cards. So cartomancy is using playing cards to do divination, not just prediction.
And that's very interesting.
What is the difference between the two? Divination is divine communication. It could be used for guidance, counseling, looking at, it's like a mirroring thing, what's going on in our life. It doesn't always have to be predictive. Divination involves everything in it. It involves mediumship, it involves making predictions, it involves analysis, investigation, and for healing purposes and self-reflection.
So, do you think a lot of people get into this field because they want to, they are just fascinated by this whole thing? Or?
I think most readers that I have met have had this inner calling, have had a gift from the beginning. And like most of them, I needed a system that allowed me to properly channelize the message. Okay, so the messages they come in bits and pieces. So, but you have to sort of ground it in reality. It has to come from a system which is used over a period of time. And when I studied with my amazing teachers at World Divination Association, they taught me old methods, 500-year-old methods of doing tableau style readings, which I also teach my students now. Tableau style readings don't include 1 or 2 cards, they include an entire deck of maybe 36 or 54 cards in a playing card deck, including the jokers. Or if you're using Tarot Marseille or any other tarot deck, you could make large reads on the table.
What is the duration? For how long are these predictions true?
As long as you want it to be. Actually, that's a big miscommunication done, that you cannot read for more than 6 months, you cannot predict for more than current energy in tarot. I don't think so. Maybe it's a lack of technique. That's what I'm saying. It's a lack of technique. And if you are a medium, it really enhances you and it really gives you, it's like putting on makeup. You're pretty, but then as soon as you put on makeup, you really enhance your best features.
And so, basically, you're getting ready to do the work that you're doing.
Yes, and you have a system that gives you correct, predictive, clear answers.
So when you do these readings, and I've also done mine with you a couple of times, and it's beautiful. Do you personally get impacted by it, drained by it? How does that impact you?
I don't get impacted and drained because this is a tip for all the readers that I want to give. That, if you work with less information and you have to use a lot of your energy to tune into the other person, you will get tired. Because you're just tapping into nothing but thin air, trying to get information. Sometimes clients also sit like this. Batao mere bare mein, main to kuch nahi batao.
Because they are coming to test you.
Yeah, so that also happens. So if you don't have a tool in your toolbox that helps you and gives you clear, specific information, then you will tire yourself out. You'll tire yourself out counseling the other person also. But this is why you need that cushion, and why I would use cartomancy with the ability to psychically read somebody is because it gives me specifics. And that's why I don't even pick up a tarot deck, because that deck didn't allow me the practical aspects of life.
So it basically bound you.
It bound me with esoteric stuff, with philosophy, with spiritual stuff, and it gave me psychological information, which is important, which is very important. But real people and real paying clients, they want to know mundane things about life. Mundane things like, when am I getting married? The guy I love, what does he feel for me? When do I have a child? When do I buy a property? What about my money? What about my career, my investments? So they don't want to listen to metaphysical crap. They are not interested in your esotericism. And the worst thing that most readers would do is give jargon and philosophy to that.
What are the top 3 questions that people are most curious about when they come to you?
Giza-pita questions they are. The same old.
Love life.
Love. It's not a question, it's area of life. Relationships, health, money. Everything revolves around these 3 things. Some people think that they're asking a very hi-fi question by saying, what is the purpose of my life? As if there is one purpose of their life. There is no one purpose of your life. There are multiple purposes of your life. We serve a lot of purposes in our daily life, by the way. And you finish one purpose and you latch on to the next purpose.
Yeah.
Like in your case, as I was saying, that communicating with people, connecting with people, taking your voice out to people it's more than purpose. It's like that raison d'etre. It's the reason why you're here. It's your spirit expresses itself and feels alive when you do that. And if you're not going to do that, if you're not going to fill your own cup of coffee for yourself, and you just keep giving to other people, then very soon life would become a misery.
Very empty, yes.
And it will go there some or the other way. So if you're not actually chasing your purpose, then it's a big disservice, not just because you waste the essence of your soul that you brought here to experience your life in a certain way.
And it's an amazing fact. And I also want to touch upon the psychic medium part of yours. Recently, a lot of people have been, coming to you and they want to connect with a loved one or they want to get a message from the other side. Very interesting. There was this 2-year-old boy and we were chatting, 3-year-old. So a 3 years old boy and I were chatting, and this boy goes like chatting, and then all of a sudden he goes like, there is nothing on the other side. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, yeah, there is nothing on the other side. A lot of people think that, there is nothing on the other side. It's very nice and quiet.
It's very nice and quiet. It's educational as well. There's a lot to learn here. It is a school. And how my journey started with clinical hypnotherapy. When I studied clinical hypnotherapy, I did a lot of sessions for myself and for other people in my class.
I remember that time.
Yes. So I've gone through a lot of different paths to finally find mine. And I was also looking for answers. So I have understood that, and even in clinical hypnotherapy, you're accessing that part of your subconscious mind, and you're trying to get messages from there. And they also realize, see, this is your CPU. There's nothing that you can do correctly in this life without your brain functioning well.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you're trying to do. And it applies to the ability of connecting with energies who are not present in bodies.
Yeah.
Even if I was, and in the rare thing about me and different thing about me is, even if I'm doing a mediumship read, which I don't sit down to do, messages just start coming, I still use a system of my Lenormand cards to get specific answers, even from those who are not here anymore. Because Lenormand cards are a language that spirit uses very beautifully to give messages. So the cards work like training wheels for a new medium. If you're starting your journey, and if you are naturally gifted in this, see, we are all naturally gifted in something or the other. Some people are very beautiful painters, some dance very well, some sing very well. This is what I do. This is what my gift is. But I have to structure it. I have to train myself. I have to study the system. And if I have a proper method of getting clear answers, which help my client corroborate and confirm the messages for them, give them the peace of mind that they're looking for, and give them the guidance that they came for, my job here is done. I will not be able to take their grief away, but I certainly will bring them that semblance of peace and hope that things continue. There is more to human consciousness. It's an infinite consciousness. So you cannot really reduce us to meat suits. We are more than that.
So when people come to you for mediating between both worlds, and
I don't ask them to book with me for that, Mehak, because
so while doing your reading,
but while the reading is on, there have been uncanny things that have happened where I've told like a client of mine that see, now there's 2-3 things. I have described their parent who's no more with us, and then they brought a picture and showed it to me, and it was exactly the person that I was sensing. So these are the early experiences in life. But mediumship has nothing to do with only people who've passed on. It has also to do with people who are coming to this world.
What?
So in my experience, of my own personal experience, when I was supposed to have a child, I kept getting consistent messages that you're supposed to have a baby. And I kept delaying, till while in meditation, one day I saw him. I saw my own kid as a 2-year-old baby, okay? And I was told the name, I was given the name, I was shown the face, and I was told, a message came from the other side that I'm waiting to come and see you. It was a very beautiful and emotional thing, because we are always thinking we are connecting on the other side means people have gone. But people forget that there are people coming also. It's like a railway station. They're coming and they're going and they're coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a message, and this was way before I even conceived a child. When I finally saw my baby boy, when he was born, I was in disbelief, because it was a very similar face. But since I had seen a 2-year-old, I waited for 2 years, and when he was that old, I'm like, oh my God, this is it was him. It was actually him who gave me those messages that I have to come.
And they also say that in the other world, when you're planning to come here,
you plan it with them.
You plan it
Yes.
with them, and they choose their mother.
They choose their mother, and because I was constantly pushing that agenda away, I was woken up and I was told that he has to be here, so it's time for that to happen. And I was a new reader at that time. I didn't know what I was doing, or I didn't understand what this was. I was still exploring dimensions that are beyond this one. I was studying hypnotherapy. I started my journey as a clinical hypnotherapist, and that was the very first step in my ladder. I was trying to get answers for myself. And the thing is, I've had some scary experiences too for myself also. Mehak, it's always your personal loss that triggers these things for you.
Always.
Okay, and this is a personal story, but this is interesting because it made me realize that what is happening with me is rare, and it's really not everybody as I thought it was. And I was standing in the Z News studios. I used to present a show called Play Win Bonus Ball. It was the last section of the news. I was still in college with full makeup on my face and standing and doing a live broadcast, and it was a 15-minute live segment that used to happen where a politician would come on the set. I would interview them, and then they would, the Playvin was sponsoring, and it was in those days when we used to have lotto. Abhi to there's no such thing. And so they would sort of press a button and somebody would win a lotto somewhere. And every time people would ask me on the sets, oh, is somebody going to win this today? Is somebody going to win today? And one of those Saturday evenings when I was doing that live show, I had a feeling that my father is not doing well, something's wrong, and he was in another city. He hadn't called me. He would call me after every broadcast. He would see me on Z News and he would call me how I'm looking, how I dressed up, how I expressed myself today. And he's a broadcaster, so he was very concerned with how I'm presenting myself. So my journey in life was completely different, before.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that day he didn't call, and the only thought that came in my mind was, he's not
doing well
there anymore. Otherwise, he would have called. That was the question, and I started sensing him in the studio with me. I said, that cannot be the case. I'm in Mumbai, I'm in Z Studios. Why do I feel he's right here with me? Why do I feel and that should not be the case. Why should I feel that he's right here, standing here, looking at me? And it was very scary. And then I got a call, scary because it was putting me in a stressful space, that I cannot feel his presence here. He has to be at home, in another city. Get a call from my uncle, and then they say that, he suffered a cardiac arrest and you guys need to come. And I said, he's no more. You guys are lying. And so I've gone through such clear messages, and I knew what has gone wrong in my own life. I continuously sensed his presence. I have sensed that presence in my own family every time we've lost somebody quickly.
I remember.
And I knew this day is coming a year in advance, that this is going to happen. The last time they celebrated their wedding anniversary, my parents, I knew that this is it, that this is the last one. So this is weird, okay? This is too much for a child to take, for a young person to take. So that's when I realized that, hey, Prasiddhi, you know what? You got something else going on with you. You cannot brush it under the carpet anymore. And if this is a gift, which I got a lot of messages when I started doing my spiritual sadhana. And finally, with the guru, I realized that, you know what, this is a gift. It needs to be honed. It needs to be correctly sharpened. You have to sharpen your pencil. You got to be clear with your instinct. You've been given this energy in life to work with. And you might as well learn a proper system of getting clear messages.
And also, sometimes all of us are unique, and, we try to mold ourselves into something else so that, we can fit in.
Yes, obviously, because the world doesn't, and this is such a beaten path, like padhai karo and get into a normal career and do the usual thing.
Pay your bills, move on
and so
with your
to
life.
go off that path, you need a lot of confirmation. It needs to come. And that's why today when I teach students, I want to look at the science behind this. I want to give them logical answers. I'm bringing youngsters into this field. When they come to me, they want to learn. Oh, we're overthinking it. We're just anxious. We go on astro apps. We look for answers. I said, you don't need to do any of that. You open your channel up.
Nowadays, it is even more weird. People are going to AI chatbots and they're asking them for, predictions. It is really something that I can just not believe is happening.
Let me tell you something funny. There was a woman who wanted to book a session with me last month. And she said, I have been exchanging messages with you, Prasiddhi, for over a month. And I love the things that you have told me. I said, who are you? And where are you exchanging these messages? So Instagram had given me this AI bot, which is attached to my profile, and to reply to people, automated communication. And she assumed that it's me. So she's actually talking to that AI bot and
asking questions.
Asking questions about
and
her
AI bot
love
is
life.
also replying.
Yes.
Goodness.
And she completely believed that it was me. And she said, you're very quick with your answers. It's almost like a machine. And then I realized I'm not talking to her. I had to call up Instagram. I had to say, how do I remove this plugin from my profile? Because people are getting really confused.
But you should actually sue them for it. Yeah, because just imagine somebody starts talking to me.
It was supposed to assist them to book.
Just imagine, just imagine the scenario. Somebody sees me on Instagram and sends a hello Mehak, and I say hi. It's the chatbot sending, and they're like, okay, this is going on in my life, blah blah blah. And chatbot is like, oh my god, this is not good. This is what you do. Oh, I have fallen in love with you because you're constantly there for me.
Yes.
And then that person gets to know that it's a bloody chatbot. And Mehak doesn't
she was
even
very
know about
apologetic that I said, you know what, we're going to make sure that we remove this thing, this AI bot from the profile. And it's definitely not me. I cannot work that fast. I sit an hour with my client, and even then I feel it's not enough time.
And you don't give dates for so long. We
Yes.
all know that. You have no dates. So how can you just reply over like a chat? My God, I feel cheated.
So
if
I
that
am
was
scared
happening.
of AI for two reasons. One, that they were just talking, AI was just talking to my client, giving them random nonsense. That, yeah, John loves you. You know what?
Yeah, man.
And the worst thing is, if I have seen on Astro apps also, they have AI profiles. There's an entire Astro app with AI profiles.
I want to ask you, over the next 6 months, how is my podcast going to do?
You really think I should give you exactly?
Yes.
You're ready to hear the truth?
I am ready to hear the truth and share with everyone as well.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it then. Well, so let's see what Prasiddhi has for us.
Okay, this is my second draw for you. I already made one. I checked something and I repeated the message. See, that's what I said, confirmation, confirmation. And so this is a Lenormand deck that I'm using to read for you. It gives specific information, down-to-earth information. That's why it's my favorite. And let me tell you, Mehak, even if I would do a full draw of 36 cards for you, here we have paucity of space, but if I could, I would have done it. And we pick up the deck and we reshuffle. And we obviously positions will change, cards will shuffle, but the message that is coming from our guides will not change. So there was this famous meme, about a tarot reader where the lady visits her in a parlor and says, okay, tell me about my life. And the reader says, oh, all your problems are created by you. You're to blame. And the other one says, bitch, you better reshuffle. And that's a meme. But you know what? Even if I reshuffle, it's not going to change the message.
It's just like our lives.
Yeah, they just rearrange.
Yeah.
But whether I say I love you or whether I say you are my love, it's the same thing, right? So this is what happens, and I just reconfirmed for you the same thing. So what I feel is that there's a lot of back and forth, up and down that will happen for the next 4 months, okay? You will be expanding and you will be growing, and it's all for that. And it's a trial and error right now for the next 4 months. You will have benefit in the next 4 months in terms of reaching online. And the stars is a card that always shows that online spreading of information. So you would be dealing with a few things here and there which slow you down, and you will remove those things that are slowing your process, that help you gain more traction. And by the time we are in October, November, you're going to make some real changes. You'll either get rid of certain people that you have got on board. It could be specifically with the digital marketing side of people who you have who work with you, and make some changes in your plans, change the way, maybe change the performance marketing funnel if there's anything specific to that. If you don't have it, you'll get it, because after 4 months, you will get more knowledge, more information, more detail on how to expand this thing now, because the learning is on, constant learning is coming, and complete control will be with you, because the key and the stars and the card of change and the anchor, these cards have repeated themselves again and again and again. And actually, this is the card, this is the winning card in the Lenormand deck. When you reach the anchor position, when they used to play the game of hope, this is what this deck was used for. As I told you, all decks were used for games. If you landed on position 35, you would win. This is the end goal, final goal that we want to achieve in whatever we do. Anytime this card lands in any spread, specifically in the exit position, how this has come, I cannot fake this shit. The way it has come, it's saying that the end goal that you want to achieve, whatever it is that you had planned to achieve in terms of spreading this podcast, taking it out to new audiences, making changes, and the changes that specifically October, November, May, the one that you will make, will take you to that winning position, that winning card here. Okay, so it's actually taking you there. There's a lot of back and forth that is going to happen. I think the entire journey, if you look at it, even if there are negative cards, there are 2 negative cards here, but what they tell me is that things that don't work for you, you're going to change them, you're going to remove them. So it's not a negative. A coffin doesn't always say a negative situation.
It says ending.
It says that certain things need to sort of, stop now. And you need to find another approach towards achieving what you want to achieve. So you'll actually be going back and forth. That's what I said, this is not working for me, or this person is not working for me, or this kind of plan is not working for me. And it's got everything to do with expanding the reach of the podcast. It's not about the content, it's more about taking it to a correct audience. That's where the drill is. It will drain you a little bit. It'll affect your health as well, because the travel, the coming and going, the stress of that is going to get to you. So I would just say it's not going to put you in a hospital bed, but it definitely tires the heck out of you.
Oh, ask me about it. 3 days of shoot and I'm already like, I need to be in bed for 24 hours straight.
Yes. So, but just take care of your health. I think you're doing okay otherwise, and you will improve it, take it to a bigger stage and make it better. The overall message is that make the changes. Don't be afraid of cutting things away and taking things out that don't work, that don't serve you, and you will get success. And with this here at the end of it,
it confirms.
It confirms that this is the winning card that has already landed. As I said, twice I've done it. Every time I got a good card, this card has repeated itself. You're going where you want to go. You'll get there.
So, well, this is what it is.
This is what it is. It's good. It requires a little bit of edit here and there.
So finally, I need to weed it out.
Yes.
And to take other things which are not working, which is a good thing. And, just off the camera, we were talking, and then Prasiddhi, just getting into the reading, asked me that, are you sure you want to know about it? So it is important to, know what needs to be taken out so that, you can be on your path, on a quicker path early in life.
It's a lucky ending to whatever it is that you're ending. So if you're stopping something, it's for your benefit. You still have to make a few edits in the way you are
operating right now.
Yes.
All right, that's great information. I think we all need to, that is why I feel that these are the pathfinders for us. They find the path for us. And especially, Prasiddhi, with your work, you guide people, right? It is that is your purpose of life. You have come here so that, you get the information. And bhatkeon ko, rasta dikhana is sometimes is what you do, which is...
I want to tell you one more thing in this read, is that some goals will be achieved. These goals help you build an authority in your field, but it's not necessarily financially gainful yet. It's not financially taking you where you want to go, but it's building you up for the next stage, for the next year. You've got 6 months left in 2026. So in 2026, you're building the platform and raising the bar and ending things and stopping things. You might even have to take it slow, as I said, because your health is going to get a little bit of a beating here. So please be careful for that. But otherwise, I think you'll gain speed by the end of this year. You'll achieve most of your goals, which are not financial in nature, but building the platform into a solid space to finally attract the money that needs to come with the book.
That's awesome. So, yeah, podcast money will come, but then people do know that I'm an MC as well, an anchor as well. So, give me work. I'll make money. Use that money to do the more, more shows here.
Anchor.
And anchor. Yes, absolutely. That is the card that I got. So the idea is to do something that you absolutely are meant to do. So, somebody told me that I should be who I am, and you're not the only one. I think there are 3 people in my life who do that. One is you, and the other 2 people are my parents, my mom and my dad.
Yes.
So, totally into that at this point.
And I actually want to thank your mom. I want to thank you, because she said that by the time you reach a certain age, please autograph de dena, because you're going to make a big name. And I said, no way that's going to happen,
I remember that
and so I'm see, even I like getting readings done. It's like it's such a joy to be guided by the right people in life. It's a privilege to be guided by the right people in life. I think you're guided very well, and I'm still waiting on things that she said for me to come true. Some of them have. That's why we are here today.
And the others you're waiting for. So, yeah, I mean, just for the context, people who don't know, that my mom is a gifted person, and she can see things for people. What is your message you would like to give people towards the end of the show?
I think the only thing I want to tell, and this is something I always say, is that don't rely on general messages, real readers on social media who do a 2-day course and come and start telling you about your life or what you should be doing or what is wrong with you. If anybody leaves you with more confusion than you walked in with, then obviously that's not the right reader. I have to give accurate answers, Mehak. I have to tell them bitter stuff sometimes, but I have to leave them with peace in their heart and ability to deal with the difficulty that is going to be coming in their life. And you go to somebody, stay with a reader, spend some time, see their social media, see what kind of content they make, see what kind of information they share on a general basis. Are they always clickbaiting you? Or are they actually giving you some serious information that helps you? And if you can form that bond and trust, and you connect with them after doing due diligence and understanding, okay, where is this person coming from? What is their approach towards their work? You vet it out, and select your reader. That is your responsibility. Then if you go to the right person, half your problem is already taken care of, because then they'll take you forward from there. But select your reader, use your head, Make sure you're not talking to some AI bot. Make sure you're not talking to a fake person online. There's so many of them now. It's becoming so scary and so confusing. People don't know who's the right reader. But give it time. Look at their experience. Look at their journey. And I think your own intuition will guide you to the right person. So trust yourself, and if you feel that somebody's voice makes sense to you, then you go and talk to them. And selecting the reader is in your hands.
Absolutely. And selecting the person you're reading is also there. I want to quickly touch upon that, when people come to you and they ask you a question, has there been a time where you specifically refused to, take somebody's reading and said that we'll not do this? Maybe you made up an excuse saying time nahi hai, whatever else.
See, now, because everything is in a system format, yes, I do have a process. I actually avoid doing that, canceling on somebody. I've never done that. I have refunded some people who have come up with weird expectations out of me, and asking questions about, like, there was this one person who came and they paid the fee, they came and then they said, I want to know about this television actor, if they are having an affair with so-and-so. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to tell you that. That's none of your business. And interestingly, the television actor they were asking about was a childhood friend, Mehak. So I'm like, I'm not telling you anything about her. I'm sorry, that's not your information.
And even if
to
that
be had.
person was not a childhood friend, you
Even
would
if
have
she
just-
was not a childhood
Yeah.
friend, I would not have done that. But this person says, so as if you know all actors in the world. I said, I don't know all actors in the world, but look who you came for and look who you're asking about. You know, this is like somebody comes and asks me what's happening in Mehak's life. I'm going to pay you this amount. Tell me.
Baby, take the money, give half to me.
A lot of my friends said that, what did you just do? You could have just kept the money. You could have actually gone up 3 times, with a real markup and asked them and given them the reading. I said, but there's something called ethic,
Yes.
And this is not my work ethic. आज मैं वो 50,000 1 लाख रुपए ले भी लूँ उनसे. to
1
talk
lakh
about-
रुपए दे रहे था कोई.
To talk about their favorite
Next time
actors.
somebody, when I'm like truly very very famous and somebody comes to you says मैं तुम्हें 5 लाख रुपए दे रहा हूँ, मुझे महक के बारे में information दे दो, 5 लाख रुपए ले लेना, उसमें से
And we'll
2.5 लाख
split it
मुझे
up.
दे देना और जो बताना हो बता देना, मतलब all lies or truth, whatever you want, but take the money for sure.
Well, I need to start playing along, with such people. But I sort of refunded the money. I said, no, there's no way.
I think that speaks a lot, and all of us want to go to a person who keeps our confidentiality confidential, because otherwise, where is the integrity? Where is the safe space? You need to feel safe.
And I have
with
a
people.
long page of do's and don'ts and instructions on my website when people come. They have to take a look at that. They have to understand, manage their expectations is a big thing. So they have to read that. If they understand it, if they agree to it, then I allow them to book with me.
And you have always been a very evolved soul, as I say, that from the beginning. Otherwise, reaching this point in life and having so much clarity in life, also, knowing how to manage your emotions, what to say, what not to say, of course, sometimes can go a little haywire, because that comes to you directly as a message and you have to pass it on. You don't have a choice sometimes. But this clarity I've seen in you, and I really want to wish you lots more luck and success. May you help many people,
Yes,
more
hopefully.
people in your life going forward, and people can very confidently look back and say, I was stuck at a point in life, and that is where Prasiddhi guided me.
Thank you so much, Mehak. It means a lot.
Thank you so much for being on the show. I loved it. And we're going to catch up more after the rolling is over. But for all those who are watching this right now, we just had this episode that we shot with Prasiddhi. And you can go onto her website called prasiddhipredicts.com. She is a fabulous person at heart, but she also guides people in their life journeys and paths. A journalist by profession, a very interesting person who understands science and merges it with her art and her gifts very beautifully in this part of the world, and helps people around the globe. On this podcast today, we spoke about what are the different means by which people can really, kind of look for answers to questions that they don't have in life. If you're stuck somewhere in life, what are the different things that you can do? How to avoid those people who could be, kind of flaky. They do not really have the correct credibilities or means to help you, but they're out there to make money. How to really, really be away from those people. And also, if this kind of world excites you, if you feel that you get some messages, or sometimes you have a weird kind of intuition and you don't know what to do with it, and you want to explore this as a career, then you can go to Prasiddhi and you can figure it out for yourself. And to know more about what we spoke, you can watch this episode right here. Do let me know. What did you like the most about this episode today? And share with your friends, people that you think would get benefited out of it. It is important to spread the word. So do like, share, and comment on this episode. Watch the full episode on the Mehak Ankar Show. Thank you so much.